young people mostly. And what I've been doing lately is a lot of telemedicine, right? So I get on the iPad and, I do a video conferencing, and I'm seeing what people are doing with their high school studies, their college studies, their graduate studies, even PhD studies. Everyone is on the computer, watching a lecture, sort of interacting with the professor online, interacting with other students online, and then taking their tests. And I would say it's working for pretty much everyone over the age 14. It's working really well. It does work. For the kids, it's not working, so it's a disaster. But for, I would say, 10th grade and above in high school, college for sure, graduate school, PhD, they're doing better. So then I'm looking at the amount of time they're spending, and I'm thinking, okay, like it hit me. A curtain opened up. And I said, these colleges are spending all this money on elaborate campuses, elaborate dorms, swimming areas, sunbathing areas, fields, sports teams, intramural teams, art teams, debate teams, clubs, safe spaces, all different sorts of eating venues, restaurants, and different types of niche coffee shops and libraries. And I said, it's all a waste of money. So then I'm thinking, all these kids are learning online. That's the bare bone education, is what they're doing online. All the other stuff is the bells and whistles you don't need. So then I'm thinking, do you want to go into debt and be some 22 to 50-year-old slaving away at a job, doing tasks you don't really like, showing up, grinding it for years to pay for something, an education that could cost up to, $50,000 to $75,000 a year, maybe $100,000 to $400,000 of debt? Come on, of course not. So I'm thinking, these colleges and universities, this is a luxury brand. It's like you're buying a Mercedes when, you probably could get away with getting a nice, let's say, Honda. That works, it's reliable, it's a good car. You don't be needing any Mercedes. So I'm saying you just could do this online school, get your credits, get your education, because I'm a fan of education. You should get your education. But don't be going into debt because you're paying for some football program or basketball program or art or university center or some new research thing or some little building that has a dorm that's testing new green ways for people to live. And what a bunch of garbage. What a load of you-know-what. Don't go into debt for that. Don't go into debt. Just do your online thing. That's the bare bone education. Everything else is extra, and don't pay for it. Don't be going to these dorms and all these fancy textbooks. Just get it online. They're just ripping people off and charging for things you don't need. It's a luxury thing. Who borrows money to buy luxury items? Well, some people do, and I think they're stupid. I don't think it's a good way to spend your money. And do you really want to work for that? Wouldn't you rather be taking a trip or buying yourself a car, a nice place to live, or getting the things you need, instead of supporting a university system and a school system that has all these elaborate bells and whistles that you don't use? You want to be a pre-med? Do your online pre-med. Get through bare bones. Engineer? Fine. But all these other, and all the salaries, the dean of cultural studies, the dean of this, the dean of inclusion, forget it. You don't need that. You don't need all these deans. You need all these workers. You don't need some professor who doesn't care and just researches. You just need to get your information and learn. Learn it online. And I've been watching all these people do online high school, online college, and they seem perfectly fine with it. And actually, they seem less distracted by drinking, alcohol, partying, socializing, different activities that really distract them from studying. The universities have lost sight of the forest and the trees. They're getting all these amenities to attract. They're in a bidding war for students because the pool of students are shrinking, and they're trying to get more and more students and they're getting all the bells and whistles is how they bring in more and more students, but you pay for that. So don't pay for that. Just do your online school, get your degree, and get the hell out. Because this is ridiculous. And you know what? This has been an exposure time. It's a low tide, exposes all things. The curtains are open, and you're looking inside, and you're saying, well, what is going on with these universities and colleges? What an epic waste of money. You don't need it. And the hardship of paying interest on interest of these education loans that currently you can't get out of, and going into debt for it, and then to graduate with a degree that's useless. I could think of a few. Graphic design, art history, communications. Oh, I have more patients suffering in debt with these degrees that are useless. Archaeology, cultural studies, music history. They're all very nice things to learn, and you could learn them the rest of your life and enrich yourself. I think they're important. But if you're going in debt to get a degree that's useless, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm just seeing with my patients, and it's changing. The current population is not going into debt for useless degrees or paying for amenities in universities that they don't need. Just learn what you need to do. Get your degree. I'm for it, but get it online. Get it without going into debt. I have other videos on this, but it's just become more apparent to me that it's like you're borrowing money to buy a Louis Vuitton or an Hermes bag, a Birkin bag for, 30, 40,000. Because, it's a status thing for you. It's not. Just get your degree. Anyway, I talk more about this in my book, Tales from the Couch, different topics. I have plenty of articles on what I've talked about today, dragresti.com. I appreciate the likes. Shout out to United Arab Emirates. Thanks for the support.